Okay, so wait, how much longer until you guys are due?
Oh, just under 3 months. So January.
Okay, so you'll still have baby in belly by Christmas time, and then it's on. Does it feel even like more magical right now? I mean,
It's
everything's more magical when there's a baby on the way.
so I get so like elated and I'm through the moon or over the moon, whatever you want to call it. But I can't like be overly joyed because she's doing all the work. She's carrying all the weight. Her back is sore, her feet are sore. She's so tired, and he gets mad. He pushes on her
Oh my
bladder and he
gosh.
kicks her in the ribs, and you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah. Oh
But
yes.
she is the most adorable mother to be in my eyes ever, and I'm sure all fathers and husbands feel that way about their wife that's carrying this
John
beautiful
better
little
have thought
thing.
that. Little
He
shit.
did. He did. He might not say it as much or let on, but he 100% did. But I'm so excited. It is ridiculously. I tell my friends about this, my close friends. It almost feels like now I have like purpose,
Yeah.
if that makes any sense.
No, it does.
So,
Everything is different now. Everything is more important. Everything does change, and it's such an exciting time, especially like where you guys are at now, where you don't even know the baby yet. You've not met the baby. You've not got to hold the baby. I don't know if you've named the baby. I don't know where you're at with any of that stuff. I will not poke and prod because I know that's like the sacred thing that's like, no one touch it until the baby's out and it's been announced. But like, then you get to know this baby and you like see their little personality and they just become these like human beings. It's the best thing in the whole world. And everything just shifts into the place that it's supposed to be. It's so great. I'm so happy for you guys.
thank you, and that's what I'm hearing. So, like wrestling, for example, or the entertainment industry, the same as you. You've been chasing it for so long, so many years. It's been about what I can accomplish, how can I accomplish, and you're so tunnel vision and so driven, and then all of a sudden you're going to be responsible for another human life, and your whole perception of how you think changes, and you want to be a good example, and you want to guide down the right path, but you got to let them learn on their own as well. It's not about you anymore.
It is like a really interesting thing because I think to the point of like what you're saying too, of like when you have your career and something you've been working your whole life to be doing and you're excelling at it and there's success with it and that's great. And you want to keep doing that stuff because you're like, man, I want my kid to see the things that I've done and I want to be able to set this example. I want my kid to think that I'm like kind of interesting and kind of cool. But then there's the other side that kicks in that goes, oh my God, I don't want to be away from my kid ever. I just want to stay at home with my kid all the time. It's really like a funny push and pull of figuring out like what the right move is in terms of like, and I don't know if it's different, like being like the mom. And I was home with Nora for the first year and a half where I was always just with her. So now to like not be doing that and be back on the road is definitely like a funny thing to like adjust to.
But it's like balance, I'm assuming, correct? Because
Yeah.
I've seen you backstage at AEW for like months ago and stuff, and Norm would be with you, and like there's opportunities to travel and be with John, and the baby can still be with you guys too. I know that's probably not every week, all week.
Sure.
But the possibilities do exist. So, and luckily now, being a little later in my career, I've had the time to accomplish some things. So I've set myself up, and so has Cass, in a position to have that luxury of time if we need it.
Yeah.
To where, we're not stressing about finances. We're not stressing about
Thank God.
time, so to speak.
Yeah.
So we've been very lucky in that regard. We did a 4D scan yesterday.
Oh my God, is it not the craziest thing you've ever seen?
Mind blowing.
Does he look like you or her? Can you tell already?
So I'm going to ask another woman. For me, it just looks like I can tell everything. I can see like when they do the ultrasound and everything. I'm like, oh, there's this foot. She's like, how do you see that? I go, I can see it.
Yeah.
But when they do the 4D scan or whatnot, she's like, oh, he has your nose. Oh, he has your cheeks. I'm like, how you don't know that? And she's like, no, but it's like you guys see it differently than we do. We just see like an arm. I think that's an eyeball. Like we don't. It's
a funny thing. Like I remember when I did that with Nora and I saw her and I was like, whoa, it was like John's profile. I could like, it was like the side of her face and I was like, oh my God, she's got like his like lip. And she does look a lot like John. I think she's really a good combination between the two of us. But yeah, she's very much so John, but it's also funny, like their little personalities inside your belly. Like Nora was a very active little baby inside me, and now she's just
That's
like
how he
bouncing off the
is.
walls. Like, yeah, so buckle up. That happens on the outside as well. So get ready for those kicky legs to be coming in hot.
It's a good thing. I'm probably one of the most childlike adults you'll ever like. No, the world doesn't see it. It's all in home, and I
Yeah.
do my best
We get
to
little
make cats
glimpses
laugh.
on Instagram. We get little glimpses of it.
Might get some small stuff, but my goal pretty much every day is just to make Cass laugh in the most awkward of times. So I'll do the dumbest of shit with the dogs or just by myself. So to have another little mini me to do that with,
Yeah.
the sky's the limit in terms of what we can do. I already know what we're going to do next year for Halloween. I already know.
Oh, can you tell us?
Oh, we're doing Michael Myers, mini me and me. We're just gonna big little knives. It's gonna be epic. Just trotting down the street. It's gonna be great. I can't wait.
Oh, so great. Okay, so dadhood is just around the corner for you. I mean, you're in it. It's happening. How do you see yourself as a dad? Who do you want to be?
Oh, this is tough only because I grew up kind of in a different generation. You want to set an example and you want to protect your children as best as possible, but you also have to give them some leeway to learn for themselves. You know, as long as it's not harmful or detrimental to their health in any way, shape, or form. Like the kid's crawling up on the couch and I say, don't do that. Don't do that. Like there's the option of either going to pick them up and putting them down so they're safe, or if you take a little tumble, you're going to learn the hard way.
Oh, yeah.
I had to learn the hard way growing up a lot of times. Times have changed. Like I used to get like the belt and I used to get like upside my head if need. Oh, come on. Or dad would give me the old dad grip underneath, you know, and it's like, you can't do some things like that anymore.
Yeah.
But the idea remains the same. I just want my kid to be respectful. I just want him to understand hard work and to know like it's okay to push for what you want as long as you're not hurting yourself or hurting anybody else around you. Just go for it. So it's hard, especially with all the outside influences in the world in general. I'm just going to try to do my best and hopefully he follows suit. I think that's all you can kind of do. If you got any tidbits or golden little nuggets of information.
I mean, I feel like I'm kind of on the same track as you in terms of like, I'm not a big hoverer. Like, I feel, you know, say like, yeah, of course, if she's like holding a sharp object or something like really bad's going to happen, of course I'm going to intervene. But if she's going to take a little tumble or she's going to learn a lesson some way, I kind of like watch from a distance and let her do her thing. 'Cause it really is that like you want them to develop. I also want her to have experiences. I don't want her to just like think, I want her to be able to just like live her life, like all of those things. But she's still so little. So it really is interesting, like as she becomes more of a person and I see more of a personality, she's getting funny. You just, you want to protect them, but you also just want to like build them up to be these confident little people that can handle any situation that they're in. I just watched something recently about that, of this mother was talking about how to like protect her kid from horrible things on the internet and things that you can't keep your kid away from when they're not in front of you. And he was like, the best thing you can do is to raise a confident child so that they aren't necessarily going to succumb to all the peer pressures and all of these like other things that they're going to happen at some point or another. So I think it's just trying to find a way to like instill that confidence in your kid that they're loved at home, and no matter, you know, what happens outside of that, I think like that acceptance at home is such a big thing.
So the biggest thing for me, and we're probably from we're the same generation essentially.
Yeah.
My biggest thing was I never wanted to disappoint my mother. So I felt that if it would make my mom upset, or if she would go, "Oh, I'm disappointed in you," that would crush my soul. So I would be like, "Oh, my mom would not like that. So I'm just gonna, sorry guys, not today, or I'm not gonna go forward with whatever the plan is," because that was my biggest fear, that if she found out, she would be really disappointed in me. So that helped too, because of that bond that you have. So I'm hoping that we have that kind of relationship as well. But I didn't have a dad for the first like 10 years
Right.
of my life.
Right.
So me and my mom were very, very close. So
Yeah.
she essentially raised me till I was about 10. So that's probably where that comes from.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping I can have that effect on my son early on.
Certainly it's like being able to like have that relationship. And I was the same, like, you know, with my mom, like very close. I would definitely like push her buttons every now and then if I could, but like we were really close. And I hope that Nora and I have that when I see that sometimes of like, oh my God, wait, there's the option for kids to not be close with their parents. Like what? That like freaks me out to imagine that happening. I want to like do whatever I can to make sure that there's never that like distance between us, or she feels like she can't talk to me about something or anything like that for me and John.
So I feel it's yes. And I, believe it or not, I thought about that as well. But I think there is a time, no matter what, where they go, I can handle this on my own.
Oh, yes.
And it's only until they hit a roadblock or they get in shit that they go, oh, mom, dad. And then you go, now you're learning on your own that this is how life works. I have the same conversation now with the man I consider my stepfather, but I consider him my dad because he's the only one who ever raised me. He doesn't talk to a lot of my siblings very much. He's very quiet.
Okay.
He's just quiet in nature. So he won't necessarily reach out. But if you reach out to him, he'll talk to you all day long.
Right.
It's just the way he is.
Yeah.
So he'll be like, oh, I haven't heard from anybody in a while. I was like, well, everybody's living their lives. They're all grown up. It's now you have to kind of reach out and say, hey, how's your life going?
Yeah.
And then they'll tell you, oh, I got this problem, that problem. And you go, okay, you're on your own. But that's how life works. Like everybody just lives their life. And then once they hit, a bump in the road, that's where they go, hey, mom, dad, can you help out? Mm-hmm. So I think there's going to be a time frame, no matter what, where my son's going to think he knows how things go and he's got a handle on everything in life. And his ego is going to take over, and then his ego is going to get checked. And then I'm going to go,
saw that
that's how this
coming.
works.
I know. Oh my gosh, these little peanuts.